Hi everyone, welcome to Mompreneur Space live show podcast where I interview inspiring moms from all around the world so that you can learn from them how they overcome their challenges and struggles as mompreneur. I'm your host Kenneth Chu and today is 120 episode of Mompreneur Space live show podcast. This podcast started with a very simple thought of sharing inspiring mompreneur story so that aspiring mompreneurs will be able to resonate and start to make a difference in their life and their family's life. I've come across a lot of amazing mompreneur stories in the past 5 years, which I'm very blessed to have connected with them and share their stories on my podcast. Today's guest is an amazing mompreneur who I've worked very closely with, and she has been an amazing team member with me in Consortium 21. So when I knew her for the first time, right, I realized that she's very knowledgeable in a lot of area because she has been constantly learning for personal development. She's someone who is very well versed in a lot of areas, and the reason why is because for her the work that she's doing, right, basically is cover of all industry. So what I'm going to share with you in this episode, right, we'll be talking about embracing freedom as a remote working mompreneur with Wendy Song, who is a feminine entrepreneur and copywriter for clients remotely from Singapore and Malaysia. She can work from anywhere and she don't need to go to office. She's a mom with a 10-year-old daughter. She used to work in the bank in the corporate world for 12 years. She she yearned for freedom, and after her miscarriage with her first pregnancy, she quit her job to get pregnant again. She started digital marketing in 2010 and financial trading in 2009. She also explored various areas of digital marketing like blogging, e-commerce, mobile apps, social media marketing, and copywriting. And she finally chose copywriting to focus on. Her hobbies are and passion are to spend time with her daughter, connect with nature, spiritually, and personal development and the Web3. So without further ado, let us welcome Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Wendy, you are muted.
Hi, Kenneth.
Hi.
Hi. Good to see you again. Hi,
Yes,
everyone.
it has
Yeah.
been a while, right?
Yeah, that's right. Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So good to have you onto my show. And I was telling you to that this is the last episode of season 6, right? 120 episode, and it's so good to have a very good friend, close friend, that we have been working together for the past, I would say, 1.5 years, coming 2 years, right? And he
Correct.
has been amazing. And I was sharing with you before we start, right? That have wow, you have done up your hair nicely. It also shows that I've not seen you for a while on Zoom. Uh, and um, and at the same time, I was when I was going through your bio and all that, I was realized, in fact, I've not seen Wendy in person yet, right?
Well, actually, Kenneth, I saw you before. I actually
Wow.
approached you at a Jerry Roberts event where you have
Mm-mm.
your booth, where you were promoting your book, Mother Industrialist. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So actually,
That was in KL, right?
I was in KL. That's right. Correct. Mid Valley
Oh,
Hotel.
okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
I think
Then
that is where we met our mutual friend, like Anne, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Right,
Yeah,
correct.
I saw her for the first time also. So pardon me because there was
No,
a lot of people. I think if I'm not wrong, it's about 300-400 people that was there.
quite a
Yeah.
lot.
So during that event, I think as you know, right, as a speaker, right, oh, we were it's like a wedding banquet, right? People come to you, okay, but you don't really remember, right? Like overwhelmed with so many people, and like you mentioned, it's an event and I have a booth. Then I was also sharing on stage. So to me, at that point of time, I was so nervous. Maybe I do not look like I was nervous, but I was very nervous every time. And it's to me, it's like a wedding banquet.
Ah,
People come to me the next day. I cannot remember who really talked to me. And it's good that you brought it up because I was thinking we have not met in real life. So I think it's time for us to really meet in person, right? And really catch up and as friends, right? As comrades for the past few years. So enough about me. So maybe for those who are tuning in, right? You can do a short introduction of yourself. Share with us where you're from, how old are you, and also how many kids you have currently, and what are you doing?
Okay, sure. Hi, I'm Wendy Song. I'm living right now. Here I am in my cozy home in Malaysia, and I'm in my late 40s actually. And I have a daughter, 10-year-old daughter. And currently, professionally, I work as a copywriter, which I have, at the moment, I have three clients from Malaysia and Singapore. And the best part is I don't have to be at their office. Imagine having three clients and be in each of their office. But thank goodness, thanks to the technology, internet, and yeah, that's how we connect online. And yeah, very flexible. We also work very flexibly. Yeah. The
Yeah.
the best thing is it's performance driven, so there's no micromanage and all those. So that's the best thing compared to yeah my previous job, which later I'll share more.
Yeah. So since you got into that, right, you were talking about the micromanage, about the flexibility and all that. So what were you doing before you get into your own, I would say the freedom and also your flexibility, working from home, working remotely, and at the same time, like as a copywriter, you get to work with three clients at the same time. So what were you doing before you get into this remote working lifestyle?
Oh, okay, sure. I actually work in a bank in four banks previously for 12 years. And it's like a real corporate world where I have to report to work, and it's not like 9 to 5 job. It's like sometimes it's 9 to 8. And if we have projects, which sometimes I'm involved in projects, so it's like weekends also have to go back to work. So that kind of life, it's like it's rigid, and you need to listen to bosses. And yeah, interestingly, later I'll let you know also kind of like when I get to know myself more, and when I know my nature, it's like I don't really like that kind of rigidity, because I realized that especially when I was in my fourth bank, right? Whenever I go to work, it's like I look at it like a fish tank, like on the way going to the door, and it's like a fish tank. Oh my God, it's like going to be trapped inside there. And before walking into it, it's like I'm screaming inside on top of my lungs. I want freedom. So that kind of that to that extent, it's like crying for freedom inside. So from there, it's like I don't know whether it's I call it a blessing in disguise or what, but I got pregnant. Yeah, in my when I was working in my fourth bank. And the thing is, working in bank, it was like stressful. And that time it was because my bank is near KLCC, so it's easy for me to actually commute by train. So I was like pregnant, and then I was like commuting. I was like walking from the train station. I walked to the bank. And there's one day when I was on my 5th month of pregnancy, when I reached office, then suddenly I felt like, how come? And I realized that I was bleeding actually. So that time I actually have to rush to the hospital, and yeah, I got miscarriage. So it was a phobia for me. It's like um, after that they tell my parents, my family members say, okay, you need to get pregnant again because they desperately want a grandchild. So, but I couldn't. There was like a trauma, and it was like 4 years. And that time, even when I was like it was 4 years, I actually make a plan. Like if I were to get pregnant again, I cannot continue working in such an environment. So that's where what happened was when I was at my relaxing mode, relaxing that time, I was like thinking and searching, and suddenly a advertisement pop up. That time was like financial trading, forex trading. So I attended, and I realized that wow, this is something interesting. So that's where I begin to explore online business opportunity, which I started trading. And then 2010 I saw an opportunity to go into digital marketing. So that's where I started my digital marketing, and my first guru was Patrick Chand, if some of you know him. Yeah, and that's where I
I
continue.
think I think he has this email listing, right? That he is constantly posting, is it?
Oh yeah, newsletter. Yeah, he has.
I'm also subscribed to it. I was like, Patrick Chan very familiar because I keep seeing his email coming in very
Uh,
consistently for many years already, like at least for my past 7 to 8 years.
Yeah, that's right. He's still doing very well, and yeah, that's where I actually explore the various facets of digital marketing, like like you mentioned just now, the blogging, even affiliate marketing, e-commerce, social media marketing, even up to the standard of building mobile apps, which I built about 100 over mobile apps. It's actually very fun. I actually
You mean
get
for you?
I do it without coding knowledge. I'm not an IT person. And sometimes I get my daughter to actually involve with me building apps like greeting cards and all those. Those are for passive income. Yep. So that's a kind of interesting exploration where, because the reason why I want to explore all this is I want to know which one is the one that really make money for me, and also at the same time I really enjoy doing, because digital marketing, it's like when you go into it, it's like a wild west. It's like there's so many various kind of niches you can actually go inside, the sub niches. So I want to see which one, because it's like from a corporate world, it's like coming out from a jail, right? You it's like so much freedom. So you tend to, I think for anyone, right, like you come out from a jail, you tend to explore many areas of life until you find the one. So that's where I found copywriting, the one for me that's making the real business money for me. Yeah, that's where I focus on it, and I actually write in various niches, which is inside copywriting itself. I have written for various niches, which is personal development, spirituality, coaching, online business opportunities like forex and all those, even cryptocurrencies trading, and also not forgetting the exciting world of Web3, which is NFT and metaverse. That's where I work with you closely, Kenneth. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Now I know more about you. In fact, all the while, because when I first met you, okay, just copywriting. I
Yeah.
didn't know that you are into financial trading, and I didn't know that you were in digital marketing as a whole. And then that's where you start to find. I think if not for this interview, right, I wouldn't know that. Wow, it's like what we call it in Chinese, right? 文武双全, right? That means you are so skillful in a lot of areas. Yeah, so it's good to know that you are in that. And I think after this interview, right, I will need to talk to you separately to see how we can expand my business in Singapore for digital marketing.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So having said that, that also brings us right to the topic of our episode, which is embracing freedom as a remote working mompreneur. And why is freedom important to you? This is the thing, because I think that is also something that connected us, because for me, I also crave for I was deprived of freedom that you mentioned, right? I used to work in a bank. I used to work in a bank as a personal banker, and I can totally resonate with you if that fish tank, right? Like you're going into the tank, and you get blocked up for that office hour, and after office hour, like for me as a personal banker, right, I still need to do phone calls, telecall, telesales, and all that, and to make appointment. And during weekends, although the branch is closed, right, we still have to be working. We still have to meet clients. Because that is the only free time during weekends, so we can meet our clients. And I totally feel you, because I was at a point of time, right, I'm also dragging myself to work. I'm also like a zombie, go inside the tank, and I will just do whatever inside the tank. When I'm out of the tank, I feel relieved. So why is freedom important to you? Maybe you can share with us.
Okay, I think the most important thing is freedom is our birthright. Actually, we are born to be free. That's the more spirituality aspects. As a whole, like I think God created us to actually be free. We can have like freedom of speech and all those, and that gives the pure happiness, I would say, because even when we talk to our kids like moms, right, like if we keep constantly like instructing them to do this, right, they'll feel like very agitated, and it's like, it's like blocking their creativity to express, because that's freedom is our natural creativity, our natural expression. So that's the core being, I would say, that every one of us have the birthright. That's to make us what you call that? I mean, to make us enjoy life, as well as the main thing is the pure happiness. Because for us, each of us, if we have the freedom, means we have the ability to choose. And when we can choose, that's where you actually have the responsibility. And not only that, it's more like it's a satisfaction. It's a pure happiness that this is what you really want to do, and it aligns with your soul. So that's I think it's actually very, it's kind of undescribable, but because I'm actually going into the more spirituality side, but it's like you feel like it's very nice feeling to have, compared to, yep, like that kind of like the bosses ask you I mean, I would say not all bosses are bad, that kind of thing, but some bosses that a little bit of typical one that ask you to do this without listening to your opinion. That's where that that kind of the freedom is not there. And yeah, that's why I want to break away from that kind of block and
Mm.
embrace the real freedom of.
Yeah, I think the key thing when you talk about that, right? These are what we call managers instead of leaders. There's
uh,
so many people out there, the managers, right? By right, managers are supposed to be leader, should be leading us and managing us, but not controlling us. And that is where I think this suffocation come from, and that's where you felt that you are in the fish tank, and that is very important. And talking about that, right? I see that if you guys realize, right, Wendy speak in a very calm, relaxed tone, which I really love it because there was one time I think she did for the company. She did a presentation to share about her passion. Then that's where I was very um, amazed by what she is. She did maybe like a short session of meditation about something on spiritual, like yeah. So that is where I want to dive deep in, right? Because it seems that you were working in corporate, working in a bank, the industry for about 12 years, and because things happen, you became a mom, and then you have the miscarriage. And is that the reason why you moved into spiritual, because for healing purposes, or it was something that you were, how do you get into that?
Okay, that was part of it, but I think one of the reason is also because during my entrepreneurship, being an entrepreneur, it's not like a straight line, very calm, that kind of way. It's like a zigzag. So it's like there's ups and downs, struggles, success, and all those. So, and I think, yeah, and I don't know, somehow I was also blessed again, where I actually won a contest to actually join a spirituality retreat. And that's where actually in 7 days I was with my a spiritual guru. It's like awaken the divine in you. Yeah, Master Umesh. Yes, he was the one who actually got us into. He's actually from Singapore, and yeah, he actually got us
Interesting.
into getting to know ourselves better. And that's where, wow, I mean, when you get to the spirituality journey, when you go deep inside yourself, you realize that a lot of layers of mask is like onion peeling. So it's a lot of traumas and all those begin to actually, yeah, heal, right? So that's part of healing as well for my trauma. But actually, I got over it. That's why I got my second, so-called second child. Yeah, I overcome it by, yeah, connecting back to God actually. Because when I got my miscarriage, I actually disconnect with a lot of people, including God itself. Yeah, so yeah, but gradually it's like, I don't know why, somehow the universe and God, it actually pulls us back towards Him because He's a loving creator. Yeah, He never leaves us alone. So that's where, that's where I get back into track. And yeah, then my journey for entrepreneurship also became what you call smoother. And that's where I actually met copywriting as, yeah, the choice for me. That's even, in fact, that's where I got the signs, because I believe that opportunities are out there, but it doesn't mean that every opportunities are actually aligned to you. So sometimes there are scams and all those things. The thing is, once you choose one which you follow your heart and it's aligned with God's destiny for you, the universe destiny for you, that's where the doors open. And yeah, that's how I actually zoom into copywriting, because that's where I find more success in that area for me.
Okay. So why you went into copywriting? Because like you mentioned, right, you tried all of the different
Yeah,
areas in digital marketing,
yeah,
and then you found that you have more success and wealth is flowing in as you work on it, and naturally you get better at it. So how long was that transition period for you to
okay.
heal and then finding your that purpose? How long was that?
That was like about 2, 3 years, I think. Yeah,
Mm. So while you are working on yourself, you are constantly attending classes for
oh,
healing. Yeah,
yeah.
were you doing other things at the meantime?
Oh yeah, I also like personal development. I love personal development. It's like since university time, it's like I go for that. Last time there was like this Isaac. I mean, if you all can relate to that, that kind of leadership program and all those. Even Lawrence Walter Earn was one of the that time he was conducting power of communication. Wow, it was so impactful. It's like the smaller version of Anthony Robbins in a small room. Yeah, so it was like a personal development journey. It's definitely, yeah, something that I really go into deep and until now, and I love it. And I think from personal development, I realized that I actually go deeper to spirituality, and that's where I find there's more, what you call that? There's more connection
Mm,
myself as well as God's destiny. Yeah.
mm. Because when
Oh,
you
by
say
the
that,
way,
right?
yeah,
Sorry,
by the way, I'm actually not Christian, but I believe there's one God. Yeah, so that's that. I always say God because there's just one creator.
as a general, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right, correct.
Mm, 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 mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
So you were saying that like this journey, right? I realized that a lot of mompreneurs that I've interviewed on this show, most of them who are successful
Yeah,
and are still passionate about it is because they invest in themselves, right? They invest in personal development, they invest in learning. Like for you, when you talk about the things that you learn, you basically shine, right? You seem so happy. It's coming from inside out, and I think this is some of the various traits of being a successful mompreneur, is that you crave for lifelong learning, crave for knowledge, you crave for personal development, you crave for growth as yourself. And I think all these virtues, right, basically form up to make you a better parent in a way or another, because like you mentioned, right, you are more aware of yourself, and when you are more aware of yourself, you are able to see other people in another lens. You'll be able to see from another perspective. You'll be able to see why are they doing what. You have more empathy, right? Because as you move on into discovering yourself, you have this awareness, and you have learned how to have that self-awareness in yourself, where you can help your child to develop that self-awareness, because life is about looking for the things that you were meant to be, and there's always a reason why we are brought into this world. Like for
yeah,
me, why is Kenneth, a man, doing this podcast interviewing mompreneurs from all around the world, and to date I've done 120 episodes, right? So I've interviewed more than 120 mompreneurs from all around the world. Why am I doing that? And why are you doing copywriting? I think it's always a path, um, in discovering ourselves, and then achieve that self-awareness to find our purpose in life, and so that we can do the things we love, we can do the things we are passionate about, and we are loving the things that we are doing also. Yeah.
yeah.
So thanks for sharing on that part. And I'm also interested, because although you found copywriting, right, why did you decide to go on to remote working instead? Because as a copywriter, most of them will be working in a company, in the office. And why do you decide to go into remote working? Because I believe you have a choice to work in the office as a copywriter for the company, right? So why did you went into remote working instead?
Yeah, it's like I have like LinkedIn, yeah, a job offer that, oh, okay, they want full-time copywriters and have to be in the office. I was like, oh, okay, no, no. I'm actually, yeah, I'm looking for those who, yeah, those copywriting tasks that I can actually work remotely because I want to have the time flexibility where I can actually set my work schedule at certain time, block certain time, and then after that, okay, I'm working. I'm gonna enjoy spending time with my daughter, or I do my self pampering sessions. I go for facial massage and yeah, even going to like what you call that, like shopping mall bookstores, which I love it, and yeah, and sometimes working in the cafe instead of working at home to actually change the environment. And because as a copywriter also, I also need to be creative, coming out with ideas. So it's like and I love the flexibility because I like to go different environment to actually, yeah, sometimes the ideas flow differently because of
Yeah,
the,
get inspiration, right? Because you when you meet different people, you go out, you see different things. You also get inspiration for your copywriting. For example, right? Maybe you write for Web3, you go and join a Web3 event, and then you got inspiration, right? I'm just taking an example because I think because what I do in as in my own company's digital marketing agency, right? So at times we need that kind of inspiration. We need that kind of motivation, right? Because you need to hang out with the right people. If you are always cooping yourself at home, how can that creativity go wild, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So other than that, right? What uh, the reason why you need that freedom, right? Is because when your daughter is younger, right? So now your daughter is 10. So I believe that even I myself I have a 14-year-old. So I believe they have reached the stage that oh mommy, daddy, we don't you don't need to be always with us. You can go and do your things. I can go and join my friends and all that. So has that come to that point yet for your daughter?
Not yet, not yet. She's still very sticky to me actually.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, that's right. But
which is
sometimes
which is
I,
good, right?
yeah, but sometimes yeah, because yeah, I understand a lot of like those children where they go into teenager, and then some of the mummies and daddies will tell me like, oh, they are isolated from them. So as long as you have the time to spend with her as much as you can first before that happens. So yeah, so blessed at the moment, not yet, but I think the
Yeah.
time. Yeah, that's right. So, but I still will choose to work remotely, regardless, yeah, whether it will be a distance from her. But I think I can always like, in fact, I don't really treat her like a child. In fact, she doesn't want to be, mommy, don't treat me like a kiddo. I'm not a kiddo anymore. I'm a girl. So sometimes she will say, I'm your mommy. Yeah, and yeah, that kind of thing. But mainly is well, I actually treat her more like a sister, which she does to me. She's like always saying, you're my twin sister. So it's like she looks at me as an inspiration to her. Yeah. So
I think it's good, right? At this generation, I think for them, it's not like they don't want you to be another parent. They
yeah, yeah,
just need a friend, right? And
yeah.
I think that is what our generation doesn't has. Like for me and my mom, we are like friends. We can joke, we can talk anything under the sun, over the moon.
Mm,
I think the friendship is that. That's why the distance between me and my dad is further because it's like more like a daddy role, the authority figure and all that. I think it's good to kept in that way so that I have a role model to model because now I'm a family man. I have a family. I have my wife. I have my daughter. I think for your case is good because mother and daughter, right? The relationship has to build and share. So like you mentioned, you are the feminine side. If they hang out with you, they mix with you better, they bond with you better, they can they can um they can learn from you how to embrace the feminine side. And at the same time, because of the freedom that you have, right, you're able to accompany her on her up of her growing up stage, right? And now that's why the friendship is born, which is very important. And this is also a message I want to put it out to a lot of mothers who are thinking of maybe starting a business or doing work, right? Because being an entrepreneur, right, you don't have to like really start a business, right? Like for you, doing a copywriter, you can work remotely. You're also an entrepreneur at that, because on the side you can do other things. You
Yep.
can build other stuff. You also be an investor. You can also be a part in other companies, also other startups and stuff like that. I think it's also important because being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you really need to start a business, hiring people and all that, but also being entrepreneurial. I mean, in the thinking, that means thinking out of the box. Like working remotely is really thinking out of the box. If you're in the box, you are always going to office, only serving one person, one client, one boss, right? But for you, because you're entrepreneur enough, you are able to think for the company, be more business oriented, and also be able to assist them even better, right?
Yep.
So that's where I think working remotely is important for you, and also personally of what you went through, the whole tank thing, the zombie thing, or even in corporate the micromanage. That's why now you need the freedom, but at the same time more performance based, like you mentioned just now. Talk about performance based. A lot of work now is more performance based, and if you can find a niche, you can always find a space in it. So for you, right, how has your remote working journey been for you, and what are the challenges and struggles that you have gone through, especially being a mompreneur?
Yep. Okay, so far I enjoy, really enjoy. If you ask me to go back to the what you call corporate world
Corporate
again,
world.
no way. Yeah, no way, definitely no way. Yeah. Even interestingly, I met a metaphysics person. He actually in a what you call, when I was in a ladies event, and he actually saw my, yeah, you call it the buzzer, right? Yep. And he said that, oh, you cannot work for people. I mean, you cannot, yeah, you have to be your own boss. So that's like, it's my destiny. So it's like a confirmation from there. So far I enjoy that journey, being being working remotely. And what definitely it comes with challenges, like yeah, the challenges is like sometimes, because when I started off that time, it's like, it's like more of the time is spent on like which one is the business, which one is the right one, and go for events, go for learning and all those. So um, in a way, somehow neglected a bit of my daughter that time. But thank God, my mom, in fact, they love taking care of her. So sometimes when I go for events, that's where my parents take care, and they'll play with her. But right now, I actually seldom go for event. It's like those days of like going seminar junkies and all those, it's over. So it's a more stable path right now, especially after I found copywriting. That's the one for me. The only thing is that talking about challenges and struggles, of course, it's not a perfect journey. No, nobody has a perfect entrepreneur journey. So it's more of like the time management. I think I still need to improve in that. Yeah.
I think your time management not is very is much better than a lot of people that I know, especially
Ah,
when they run their business. Yeah.
okay, all right. Yeah, and yeah, I think it's more of the challenges is more of the time management, and sometimes yeah, not getting enough sleep lah sometimes, but I think that one I can manage better already right now, because like that's why I need spirituality. That's why spirituality is important. Like you meditate, like before I sleep I just put on my meditation guide, and then I'll just doze off very peacefully. So that kind of you need to find, or like, you're aware of your challenges, and then you need to find what are the solutions that work best for you, huh? Yeah.
Wow, wow. That's a lot that you have shared with us. Like I think the key thing, right, is to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
If you are not enjoying the journey, like running a business or even do freelancing, I think is always challenging if you don't enjoy it.
Mhm.
And that may be a sign that it may not be for you, because I met mompreneur who wanted to jump into business, but they are struggling, they are unhappy, and I sometimes I really feel like you better stop, you better quit. Yeah, so you better not get into that business, Because I think why is it going to be that tough, right? Is it's also very important for you to be happy in whatever you do, because if you're not happy, nothing goes well, nothing goes right, and then it will not just damage you, it also damage your family, your children, your spouse, and all that. So it's more of a viral effect. Yeah. So I think that is also very important for you not in jumping into that, into a business and think that should be the business for you, right? So what has it been for you if someone comes to you and say, hey, Wendy, I want to be like you, I want to be a copywriter, I want to work remotely. So what will you tell them?
I think the most important thing is you need to be aware of knowing yourself first, very important. And yeah, any skills actually can be learned, like copywriting and all those. Yeah, and if a mom comes to me and say that I want to be a copywriter, I will gladly tell them to explore. I think the most important thing is explore. That's what I did for like the past 10 years. Yeah, because you can't really listen to what other people say. Some people will say that, copywriting, la la la, that kind of thing. They'll tell you their opinion. That's their opinion because you haven't go through that journey. You don't know. So that's the most important thing is I encourage them to the moms who wants to try out any whether it's copywriting or any other business. You explore first. Yeah, yeah, and that's where you know whether you love it or not because exploration actually everything is a journey that we go through, so exploration is a journey. That's my first advice, to explore. And it
Wow.
yeah.
It's nice. It's nice. I think that the key thing that you nailed it right is don't listen to other people's opinion when you want to start a business, especially listening to people who has not started a business or have not done a business successfully or has not achieved what you want to achieve. Because this is always the trap that I saw a lot of mothers jumping into it. The first thing they'll ask their spouse, should I start a
uh,
business?
okay.
Or that is a no-no, because when you ask your spouse, definitely your spouse have a lot of other concern that will not you no, will not support you. I would say it's support you in running the business because of the risk. And sometimes you have to understand your spouse. Like my wife, right? My wife is a risk averse person, so she don't really get into things that is uncertain, right? She don't like things that are risky. She don't like things that have no um, you cannot predict anything at all, right? There's no security onto that. So I think number one is your spouse, right? And the other thing is I see a lot of people jumping into a lot of friends' opinion, asking the Facebook, should I start a business, right? When you ask that, normally you don't get very good answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice, right? Or what would you think that would be the biggest challenge for a mothers who are entrepreneur or wanting to start a business?
Before that, sorry, can I add one more thing that
Yeah,
is
of course.
important for mothers as well who wants to start off? Yeah, don't listen to those who haven't do it, but of course listen to those the gurus that actually prove results. That's the one that you should speak to. Yeah, that's very important because they have gone through the ups and downs. They have cut short the success, and they actually will just teach you what you need to do, and it will shortcut your journey. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Sure. So, what is the biggest challenge for mothers to become an entrepreneur or wanting to start off? I think the biggest challenge is one thing for mom, right? There's so many responsibilities, so much noises. It's like you have to be multitasking. As there's a lot of distractions actually. So one way to actually really, really, you need to have your me time where you can be alone with yourself. And that's where I think you will discover the journey you're calling. Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot of going on, a lot of responsibility. Yes, it can just take away. Like you want to do something, a business or what you want to start off, but somehow there's like distractions. There's like events going on. But those are the you should what you call that? I mean you should take it as a test for you. It's like before a plane goes, yeah, it's like before it takes off. It's like there's a lot of what you call it. It has a lot of it has to gather momentum, and there's
Hmm.
like obstacles here.
Vibrations
Yeah,
and
the, a lot
the
of
air, especially air, is the number one thing that is obstructing, right?
yeah, because I just watched Indiana Jones that day was like interesting. Yeah, it was like the plane was like taking off, and like the wind was like against and all. So there's a lot of take it as a test to actually before you can launch your business successfully. The most important thing is listen to yourself, take some time off, yeah, pamper yourself or what. Just have some quiet time, and that's where you actually can actually know the right thing to do, and of course speak to successful moms, yeah, get their, because I think moms they have that special connection, yeah. So I think, yeah, it's good to speak to other moms who are successful, okay. Then I think you will find your journey much more clearer to how to know where you should begin. And yeah, that's right, a lot of
Yeah.
support you need. Yeah.
Of course, definitely you need your support group, your family members, your cheerleaders, and most importantly, like you mentioned, right, the community of moms who have been there, done that. You'll be able to connect. So, for those who do not have anyone that you can connect, you can always connect to with Wendy. Later, I will share with you how you can get connected with her. So, Wendy, when you talk about that, right?
Hmm.
I was thinking like, for your case, role model for yourself, be able to move ahead every time, because definitely you talk about the journey. There's always setbacks. There's always challenges. So, do you have someone that you look upon to, or you have someone that you can go to whenever you need support or you need guidance?
Oh yes, I do have like I do have my community, which is I have this WYODC community, which they comprise of entrepreneurs. Mainly, they are like business owners, copywriters. So I hang out with those like copywriters, and that's where I actually click with a few of them, and that's where yeah, sometimes we talk about the what you call the challenges and the success, and yeah, what we can do to make our journey better and all those, and yeah, of course, opportunities as well. So there's always someone, yeah, there for me, and whenever I want to get advice, I would say it's blessing that I have yeah, a few close ones. So that's where, yeah, but not family members actually, because I think because I think those entrepreneurs that I, yeah, rub shoulder with, those are the ones that understand me better, because they are also in the same journey. Yeah, like we say, the what you call that, the birds flocks together. Yeah,
Yeah, birds of the same feathers flock together.
birds of the same feather flocks together. So that's where it, because that's where the energy is, the empowering energy, the success and all those. So yeah. But from family wise, it's like I'm there for them. Like, okay, when I have any success or what, yeah, that's where, yeah, they share my and celebrate my celebration. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's important, right? It's important to have different roles, right? Your
Yeah.
different roles, and it's okay, because I see a lot of mothers struggle. Oh, like this community, I get a lot of support, but why my family is not supporting me? Like they keep going into that what you call it, the negativity, the toxic part, or what we call the
Mhm,
ego, right? They're
mhm,
always going into that and asking why my family is not supporting you, supporting me, right? Why do you need to go there? Because your family, your role is maybe a mother, a wife, or a daughter, right? Then that should be it. You are not going to show them, okay, I'm going to start a business. Well, what has business got to do with your family? Like you mentioned, right? Only when you are successful, you celebrate your success with them,
mm.
right? Then with your community, it's just to get support from them, because they know what you're going through. You'll be able to resonate with it, and that is purely okay, because that is your profession, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to split it up into two different things. You
Yes.
don't have to merge things together, or integrate things together if it's not meant to, right? If it do more damage, it's better not to put them together, right? So sometimes we like to integrate things, or like you talk about the management, right? So when you do your time management, okay, this is for business, this is for family, and that's it. Like for my case, everything is on calendar. Even my wife want to have time, is always put on the calendar, right?
Oh, okay.
So that everything is being allocated. This is one of what I call time management. My mentor even better. I think you might have known Jack Wong.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so you know what he did? He said that all his family members are on Google Calendar. So the
Oh,
wife have to go to Google Calendar, block the time, the child, everything. So one shot, everybody is on Google Calendar. We know, but which I think is fantastic family management, family time management, so that you get to know and respect everybody's time, and you
mm,
get to manage everything. But because he's someone who's very systematic, I think it applies to the family. It runs in that way, and so that I think communication is also established there, right? So having said that, right, what will be your last advice? Because time really flies. I really love talking to you.
yeah,
It's like a good catch up to understand you more. But before we go there, right, would like to ask you, just when you talk about success, right? What is success to you? Because a lot of time we think about successful is that you need to earn a lot of money, you need to have big cars, supercars, big houses, and all that. But what is it for you? Because I think a lot of moms should hear from mompreneurs what is success to them, or what it takes to be a successful mompreneur. Because for me personally, I think the the success factor for a mompreneur is very different from an entrepreneur of deeming successful. Because why is a mompreneur different? Because they are a mom first, right? And then they start their business. So what is success to you? Like, is it earning a lot of money? Because I believe that there will be mothers thinking, oh, copywriter can earn a lot of money, man, right? Is it enough? You need enough to support a family and all that, but they will be surprised. So what is success to you?
okay. For me, it's holistic success, meaning to say that the most important thing is to be happy first. Go back to your being, to be happy, and you integrate it with. For me, it's also a combination of wealth, great health, spirituality development, personal development, and also connecting, quality connection with your loved ones. Like for my case, it's my loved ones, my family, my friends, my business partner, my clients, yeah, and my mentors as well. So these are very important for me. And also physical, yeah, exercise, keeping yourself healthy. And for me, I love nature. So it's like every time I go for, I connect with nature. It's just pure joy. Yeah, I can just distress and all those things. So that's a holistic success for me. Yeah, I mean, success is a holistic success for me. It's not just wealth. Yeah.
So how about the wealth factor? Because we live in a very realistic
Yeah,
world, right?
correct, correct. Wealth factor, I think definitely you need some kind of income to support yourself. Like for me, I mean in a good in a way good that like after I quit my job in the corporate world, like I don't have to depend on my husband still for income. So I can like being a mompreneur, copywriter, I still can earn my own income and yep, I can like so-called sometimes splash it on one of the things I love and without asking him for money, that kind of thing. It's also a freedom actually. Yeah. So it's like spending what you want to spend on, yeah, to make yourself happy. But of course, for me, not only spending, but yeah, we also need to like cleverly invest our money to make it grow as well. So that's one part. It's not just working, earning, but you also make your money work harder through investment. So that's something I also do. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think this important. Like what Wendy have shared, right? That portion is very important because being able to be financial independent rather than financial dependent on your spouse, where I see a lot of modern mothers are struggling with. It's like, oh, I want to take care of my kids, then I'll be a stay-at-home mom. But because they are educated, right? Like for you, you're educated. and you have a career previously, and now you are like you quit your job and now you're at home and you want to find something that you can be proud of, you are passionate about, and you can also pamper yourself. That means you are independent, making your own money. Does not mean that you just want to fight. It's basically helping to balance, helping to lighten the burden, and also contribute in certain way, and not forgetting comforting yourself, pampering yourself, like you mentioned, right? The self-love, taking care of yourself spiritually, discover more about yourself. So all these things you can invest. And yes, the second thing that you mentioned, which I want to even encourage more mothers, right, is to look into financial instruments, right? Into how to make your money, because you can earn the money, but how to make your money work harder is through a lot of different financial instruments, which you need to learn, and not just to take the money and pass it to someone to manage for you, because they are not responsible, right, for whether it makes or do not make money. And that's where your learning comes in. Like for you, you spend time, you invest in learning, and you trade yourself and all that,
Yeah.
rather than putting the money with someone hands. Why do I say that? Sad to say, right? Sad to say, although I work in the bank, and you work in the bank before, right? A lot of people put their faith onto the relationship manager, the personal banker. But do you realize, right? They are just purely salespeople selling financial product. They may or may not even invest in that investment tool at all. I can tell you frankly, because we are trained to sell, right? We are trained to sell um, the financial instruments that is being told by us by the bank to sell it. So whether we are giving a right advice or not, I think it's really depend on your own knowledge to do your due diligence to decide whether is this, rather than 100% believing in what we say. There are definitely bankers who have invested, they know what they are talking about, but I think the most important thing is you yourself have to do your due diligence. Like for Wendy, right? She's working even as a copywriter. The benefit of it is she can work for three clients, means that she has three income. And if she can use that one of the income to invest and make it work harder, right? I think this is something that is worth any mothers who's tuning in to really explore that. Like I like what Wendy mentioned, explore, because if you don't explore, you won't find new areas, you won't find new sources of income, you won't even be able to find opportunity. I see a lot of mothers are just keeping themselves in that box, in that tank, even at home, right? Even in the corporate world, in their business, in their work, are still coping themselves. So once again, thanks Wendy for it. So how can the audience get connected with you? Or maybe you can share with us what would be your last advice, right, for those who want to start their business or even balance motherhood and business.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that the most important thing is listen to yourself, follow your heart, because there's definitely a true destiny waiting for you out there. And yeah, every one of us as mom, even as dads, and even as individual, we have a gift to actually not only share with our kids, but also to the world, yeah, and make other people's life better. So there's always a gift in us. In fact, not only one gift, but multiple gifts. So find your gifts, and yeah, that's where I think if that's the true gift that you're meant to give to the world, it will definitely make you shine. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Wendy. Thank you for saying that, because I personally also believe that everybody have a gift,
Yeah.
right? Like for you, you have a gift in copywriting, in even guiding people spiritually, and I think that is also important. So always believe that you have a gift. You are definitely here for something. So let's explore this. If you guys need to get connected with Wendy, right? So Wendy, how can they get connected with you?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can connect with me on my Facebook, which is I think it's on the screen, is it? Or
Yes, yes,
Facebook.
on the screen.
Yeah, and also my Instagram account and LinkedIn as well.
Yeah. So for those who want to find out more about how to work remotely, what are the benefits of being a remote working mompreneur, do reach out to Wendy at a Facebook. So you can see the ticker below on the screen on Facebook or Instagram. Instagram will be Wendy Song Copywriter. LinkedIn will be also Wendy Song Copywriter. And on Facebook, you can connect her on Wendy Song 29. Okay. So thank you very much, Wendy, for sharing and also sharing with us what it takes to be a remote working mompreneur. And really thank you for your time. And it is also a good time for us to catch up too. So we can let's do more of this session in the future for future season. So once again, thanks for those who are tuning in or for those who are watching replay or listening to the podcast. So thank you very much. And I shall see you guys in the next season, which is season 7. And at the meantime, right, I'm already have the waiting list for season 7. For if you guys have any mompreneurs that you want to introduce to me, do comment it in the comments area, their name or even the link to their social media profile so I can get connected with them. So once again, Wendy, thank you for coming on to Mompreneur Space live show where I interview mompreneurs from all around the world, and it's a great time spending time and for me to end off season 6 with you, with my good friend Wendy. So thank you very much, and I shall see you guys in the next season. See you guys. Thanks, Wendy. Bye
Yeah.
bye.